It says, hi Vincent, before we talk about Queen's Park Rangers, the World Cup break coming to an end for Championship clubs, how valuable has the last couple of weeks been to you?
Good, brilliant. Obviously the question was, because we'd been doing well, did we want it to carry on or did we want it to have a break? But I was definitely on the side of thinking that a break was good for us, and we've made full use of it.
It was great to see you on the BBC at the World Cup. A couple of things. Did you enjoy it? And what benefit do you get from that?
No, it's just a group of people that sometimes I like to work with, and it's still football, and you get to see the best players in the world. But there's only a couple of days in and out, and the experience is still unique. But then I was eager to get back to my day-to-day job.
It's unusual mid-season to have a lengthy break. How have the players benefited from it, do you think?
Yeah, it's unusual mid-season, but probably just in England, really. You do get those breaks a little bit later in the season, but still in January you have a few weeks off if you play abroad. But the main thing is to strike a good balance between resting, but then also preparing. And okay, I think it was 10 days for the lads and 5 days off and 5 days with an individual program, back on the pitch with the team, and a list of things that we wanted to improve on.
It's been a big couple of weeks for Anas with the Moroccan team. How will that benefit him going forward?
I mean, he's part of something special. I don't know if you followed, obviously how he's living in his country, and he's part of a team that's making history. And through him we get to be a very, very tiny part of this World Cup, a tiny part of this country's success, and we're all proud of him, and we wish him well in the next round. We have less reason to support Portugal. He's with Morocco, and we wish him well.
Back to Burnley, back to the squad. How's the general fitness looking?
Good, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things with this team. If I go off what I've seen, we'll be ready to run. We'll be ready to go again. But you're going straight into a game where anything can happen. The fitness levels have been good so far, yeah.
And focusing on Queen's Park Rangers, they've had a strong start to the season, but they've lost their manager in the break. How does that change things for you? Will you be looking at different formations, different ways of playing?
No, it's happened a few times this season that we've had to deal with managerial change. Look, it's especially when you have 2 or 3 or 4 weeks to prepare the next game, it just leaves you, it does leave you to focus a bit more on yourself. And but in any event, you still get to see habits and individual players, and that still give you something to work off. And then in the end, we're a team who's usually quite flexible, and I think on the day, whatever happens, we have to be able to react and hopefully take the game to them.
Thanks, Vincent. Good luck on Sunday.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Vinny.
Hi there.
You referenced the break quite a few times, sort of leading up to it. Was the sort of main benefit just simply time? Because it's not something you have a lot of in the Championship with Saturday, Tuesday, recovery, Saturday, Tuesday, etc.
Yeah, but especially when you've got a group of players playing, the best moment to learn is when you're playing still. But that still leaves a number of players who are maybe not learning at the same pace, and when you get time on the training pitch, you can kind of balance it out, and you can really go into detail and explain to just explain the finer things of what you're trying to do, and now was an ideal period of time to do it. And as well, we had everybody back and fit, and it's obviously easier to teach a player that's fit.
Yeah. You managed to get a couple of games in as well, in terms of sort of behind closed doors friendlies, yeah?
Yeah. No, nothing more to say. We got what we needed out of it, and again, I was pleased with both performances, but we know that the most important one is on Sunday.
You mentioned then you've got everybody fit. Is everybody fit and available in terms of the injured players, Scott Twine, Ashley Westwood, Darko Chirlinov, are they all sort of training and in contention for selection?
Yeah, everyone's fit to train, definitely. And everyone's been training consistently now for a period of time, except for maybe Connor, who's just coming back from the World Cup. But and then it's just a decision based on, where we think they're at in terms of, game time and stuff. But soon we'll have a full squad to choose from.
Connor's back in the building, isn't he? Is he available for the weekend?
Connor's available, but like I said, it's day by day when you come back from
Just on following up on Anas, obviously he's had sort of a quite a remarkable rise really in the last 6 months since he's come to Burnley, capped off with this World Cup call up. Just how big an achievement is that for him, given sort of he wasn't in the team to start with, he got built in slowly and gradually, and he's really hit the ground running, and now he's on a World Cup quarter final.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? With a player like him, you obviously we recognize his talent, but all I'm looking for is habits. Again, like I said, behavior towards training, towards tasks and what he does in the game. And so obviously on top of all of his talent, he's a player that's disciplined. And it's a player that you can rely on to do every aspect of the game, and then comes his talent, and that's what makes him such a valuable player for the national team. I think he will be in the future and for us. But now he's going to have a completely different experience, and he's going to hopefully be able to pick it up again where he left it when he comes back.
Did he speak to you at all about choosing to go to Morocco over Belgium, or did he sort of run anything by you in that sense or not? Yeah,
but obviously it's obviously I'm a little bit biased because I'm Belgian, of course, and but I've been used to have players in my team that have had these kind of decisions to make, and it's something you do with your heart, and I think his heart was with Morocco, and when he makes that decision, you have to support it, and being African myself, I'm really proud to see top players go and play for African teams, and I wish him well.
Speaking of Belgium, it wasn't probably the World Cup that you or they would have hoped for. Obviously now without a manager as well, so people will throw your name into the mix, perhaps understandably. What do you sort of make of how they fared at the World Cup and the future under whoever it might be? Yeah.
So one thing before the conversation drifts, we can't have like 3 quarters about the World Cup and like 1 quarter about QPR. Let's put the priorities right. It's about winning the game on Sunday, but of course first, and it's something for Belgium of course, and that's the only thing I will say about it. I think if you just look at the teams in this competition and you look at the cycle where Belgium was in, I don't think we should make too much fuss about the fact that it's not been a great tournament. It's it was bound to happen. You look at teams like England, teams like France, the teams who had momentum already 4 years ago, and the reservoir of players they can rely on. And look at the amount of players France have had to lose, and look at the ones that are coming through. It's like 19-year-old Real Madrid player, boom, he's going on the pitch. 21-year-old Real Madrid player. We just came to the end of a cycle, and it was always going to be difficult. I'm not saying impossible, but difficult. And like every small nation in terms of I'm saying a reservoir, in terms of we just have to make sure we don't drop off too deep and rebuild. And
it's not something, or maybe it is something you might look to do in the future, international management, but right now it's Burnley priority, isn't it?
No, but I've had to think about how I'm going to position myself when these questions are asked. Like I'll try and give you an answer in the future when you ask me about whether I'm worried about my position and all these kind of questions. 'Cause you get it both sides, right? You get the worried about your position, then the rumors about the other clubs. But I think the way I'm going to handle it in the future, what I'd like to do is just not even answer questions about speculations. You could come with Real Madrid, Barcelona. I don't care. I'm a QPR. And then you'll ask me one day, you know, are you worried about your position? And on the day I'll give you an answer what I think, you know. But these ones, there's no point.
QPR.
QPR, yes.
Sunday. How sort of difficult or easy is it, or much of a challenge to kind of pick up where you left off in terms of momentum, in terms of performance, and try to continue that rolling into what is going to be another hectic sort of fixture block over Christmas?
Yeah, I do think that is the hardest part, is to, you know, when you finish with momentum, to pick it back up a month later or something. But I have no doubt that no matter what, we'll get back into having momentum. So if it doesn't happen on the first game against QPR, it's a matter of time. I think the way this team works, we'll have momentum again at some point.
And have you been sort of pleased with what you've seen from the group? And they'll obviously be rested and recharged, and they're ready to go, I would imagine.
Yeah, but they know as well we've got competition, loads of competition in the team. And ultimately that's what I wanted. You know, we've definitely been, you know, we've been able, you know, in moments where other teams have maybe struggled a bit, we've been able to rely on other guys to come in and do a job. You know, I mean, speak a lot about the guys who've done it, but you know, when Koki was out, we had Basti come in. When Cullen was out, Brownie was out, we had Yowie, we've had a lot of players that have had to play an important part when others were missing. And for that reason, I like the fact that we have competition, because I think it naturally sharpens you. And on top of it, I think I'm hoping that's going to give us an advantage at some point.
Just on sort of competition for places, obviously the transfer window is not too far away. Do you feel like you've got enough already in place, or might you look to add if you can in January?
So what I tell my players in general, so you get an insight into how I look at it. I mean, for me, you know, every time you play for a club, you compete with the whole world, not just on the pitch against the players that you play against, but also for your place. And we're trying to build something with the guys that we've got here, and we want to be consistent with them as well. But ultimately, you know, they always have to set the standards high and prove themselves. And then we'll see if someone is stronger and we can bring him in and help the squad, we'll do it. But we won't just do it for the sake of doing it, but it has to be clear in everybody's head that they have to be at their best all the time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.